Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Welcome to sunny Florida. It is an afternoon affair here at Tropicana Field. We are not too far from the Gulf of Mexico on Tampa Bay. This will be the series finale. The Blue Jays have a 2-game-to-1 edge so far, and they are anxious to play this game to erase the memories of a tough loss last night. Russell Martin, a veteran catcher, in acknowledging what happened last night, says, you know what, it's a new rule, and I understand they're trying to get it right. And these are his comments post-game last night.
And you hear this around baseball a lot. He says, I don't know how many times we're going to see an incident like the Batista play last night, but I guarantee you, you'll see the same slide in 2 months, and it's not going to be called. I guarantee you. We saw that, I think, with the play at the plate last year, with the outfield catching the ball. They would catch the ball, take a few steps, drop it, and sometimes they'd call them out. Sometimes they would wave it off. I think they're going to tweak this. I think it's a rule that's going to be in progress, and we might see, like Russell says, 2 months from now, a different call.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Well, this is the series finale, and the Blue Jays really haven't been too good at the plate just yet. They've stranded 19 base runners, just 5 for 29 with runners in scoring position. Let's take a look at the lineup. Top of the order is the same this afternoon. Pilar, Donaldson, then Jose Bautista. Bautista has 46 home runs against left-handed pitching. Since 2010, he'll see a left-hander on the mound in the Rays' Matt Moore this afternoon. Russell Martin, he likes what he sees in Matt Moore. 3 for 7, a couple home runs and 6 RBIs, and the Blue Jays need a big offensive afternoon against a tough pitcher here today.
Matt Moore is seeking to build off of his strong finish to the 2015 season. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery. Struggled during his first 8 starts to the tune of an .842 earned run average. Well, he got it together and he went undefeated over his last 4 starts, including a win over the Blue Jays. He pitched 6 strong innings against Toronto, giving up just 1 earned run. 4-1 in his career versus Toronto. That's what he did in his 8 starts last season.
Take a look at the defense behind Matt Moore. Brendan Guyer gets his first start. He's in left field and a terrific defender. Kiermaier and Souza have gone the distance so far in center and right. Evan Longoria's at third. The start at short goes to Tim Beckham this afternoon. Forsythe and Pierce on the right side. And behind the plate, Kurt Casale, the right-handed hitter with a lot of power. He'll handle Matt Moore.
Beckham gets the start at shortstop. Former first-round pick by Tampa Bay in 2008. Was one of 5 AL rookies to start games at shortstop, second base, and third base. He also hit 9 home runs, a Rays record for a rookie middle infielder.
So Matt Moore is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game to Kevin Pilar. It is cut on and fouled into the seats out of play, and we are underway. Kevin Pilar for the series, 4 for 14. He's doubled, driven in a run. Those are his numbers from a year ago. Good first full season for the Blue Jays center fielder. Inside with the hitter. As Pat mentioned, Matt Moore had Tommy John surgery April 22nd, 2014, and prior to that, he was an all-star.
A dominant, I think, left-handed pitcher who was just coming into his own before he got injured.
Well, he's got a classic delivery, that's for sure. And many people believe he's a much better pitcher now than he was prior to the injury.
Do you remember some of his starts right before the injury? He just couldn't get the curveball over. He couldn't get the fastball over. He was throwing a bunch of pitches per inning. And I think that's what the Blue Jays are going to have to do. They're going to have to wait him out. They're going to see what he's going to feature this afternoon. Classic drop and drive type of pitcher.
2013, he was an all-star. He went 8-0 in his first 10 starts in that all-star season. Ball is hit into the seats down the left side. It's a full count to the leadoff man, Kevin Pilar. We mentioned the Blue Jays. They have not been able to come up with the big hits in this series. They have scored 5, 5, and 3 runs. Excuse me, 2 runs respectively. They've scored 12 runs in the first 3 games of this series.
Had to take a couple of those runs off the board last night. I was going to say 4 or 5 also last night.
This foul. That's the 6th pitch of the at bat. Yeah, the Blue Jays took batting practice this afternoon. The Rays did not after the night game last night. But Blue Jays, they were out anxious to get some swings in. They'll have an off day tomorrow before they open up on Friday night.
Isn't that the beauty of baseball? The day game after a night game after a brutal loss last night, you get to come right back and strap it on.
Ground ball up the middle. They were playing Millard his shift, and they throw him out. One down. Well, we talk about the Tommy John surgery for Matt Moore, and we'll show you before his surgery, 2012 and 13. Good ERA. Still coming back from that Tommy John surgery.
But once he did, I believe he had to go down to the minor leagues for a little bit and get it right. He came back and he was dynamite. One of those games was against the Blue Jays in game 162, if you remember that, when he's matched up against Mark Burley.
Burley trying to get over that 200 inning plateau. Didn't have a very good outing at all. Didn't make it through the first. Josh Donaldson had a single in his last at bat in that 9th inning in last night's game. Blue Jays were threatening to tie it up, maybe take the lead. Donaldson for the series 3 for 13 with a homer.
7 strikeouts, which is odd. And you and I had a chance to talk with Josh about striking out. He says, I'm not afraid to strike out. I think that's why I'm such a good 2-strike hitter. But right now he's been whiffing a lot.
He's not the only one. Blue Jays punched out 36 times in the first 3 games of the season. That's a franchise record.
I think that has more to do with who they've been facing than what they have been doing at the plate. You're talking about Chris Archer and Jake Odorizzi, 2 of the best right-handed batters, and you know how dominated this lineup is from the right-handed side.
Pulled on the ground. Beckham was shaded in the hole. 2 ground ball outs for Matt Moore here in the first. Brad Miller started the first 3 games of this series, and Beckham gets the start with Jay Happ on the mound. This is Jose Bautista, and boy, what a shift they put on Bautista right away.
How about that? 3 on the left side. Look at the outfield starting to pull around, and look how deep they are. The left fielder Brandon Geyer just a couple of steps from the warning track, as is Kevin Kiermaier in center field.
Bautista crossed up the defense with the triple down the right side. It was a 2-out approach, and he hit that triple down the right field corner. 17th career triple. But that's a dramatic shift.
They got to pitch him inside, don't they?
Breaking ball inside for a strike. I agree with you, and I think that certainly, well, they're always trying to beat Bautista inside, and he is maybe one of the best inner half hitters in the game.
I think you can slip one by him and he's ready for you.
Change up in the dirt. Bautista's triple came in the 4th inning. It was the first hit of that 4th inning. He came in to score on the air by Jake Odorizzi. Blue Jays took a 2-0 lead in that 4th inning. Changeup gets Bautista. Another strikeout for the Rays pitchers. 3 up, 3 down. Moore with a good first inning under his belt. Jay Happ will take them out when we come back to St. Pete. series finale. Logan Forsythe, top of the order. Brandon Guyer gets his first start. He's in the 2 spot. And then Evan Longoria against Jay Happ. He is 7 for 18 for his career with 3 extra base hits. So far, Longoria has been relatively quiet, 3 for 13 in the series. Down in the 8th spot, Kevin Kiermaier off to a good start. He's reached base 6 times in his 11 plate appearances in this series. He is just 1 for 7 against the Blue Jays starter, Jay Happ.
He had a big at-bat in last night's game against Brett Cecil, getting hit by the pitch to start that rally. Jay Happ starts his second go-round with the Blue Jays, traded to Seattle before last season and pitched for the Mariners until the trade deadline in July when they dealt him to Pittsburgh. While in Seattle, he matched a Mariners record by allowing 2 runs or fewer in each of his first 6 home starts. He gets his first one here with the Blue Jays against a team and in a place that he has had his problem.
He has not fared well in this ballpark in 5 games for his career. Delivers a first pitch strike to Logan Forsythe. Forsythe homered in the 8th inning, a 2-run shot to give the Rays the lead. That home run continued a stretch of 17 consecutive games in which the Rays have hit a home run. You don't relate home run streaks to the Tampa Bay Rays very often. On the ground, Tulowitzki. Put it in his hands and you're almost guaranteed an out.
Well, talking about Jay Happ, well, what has he done here at the Trop? An ERA of 7.64 and throwing a lot of pitches. But I think that's the old Jay Happ. This is the new one where he understands his body, he understands his arm angle and how the pitch should be thrown. He's given up a .351 batting average, and on top of that, Buck, he got hit with that line drive. It was right here when he got drilled with that line drive.
May 7th, 2013, and the batter is in the lineup, Desmond Jennings. Jennings is the DH this afternoon.
This is it right here. Come back right off his hurt. Remember, he also, on top of the problems that he had with his head, he injured his knee.
Well, Brandon Guyer, he gets hit by a pitch, and that's not unusual. Guyer led the American League last year. He was hit 24 times, and he had just 385 plate appearances, so he was getting hit once every 16 at-bats. After a while, that's got to hurt.
You would think. He's ferocious up there, stands right on top of the plate and doesn't really try and get out of the way. He just absorbs it on his body.
19 of those 24 hit by pitches were at the hands of left-handed pitching, so he is hanging in there. And that ball inside got him on the leg.
Didn't we do a game last year where R.A. Dickey hit him 3 times in one game?
This is Evan Longoria. I mentioned Longoria hitting so well against the Blue Jays. He is 7 for 18 against Jay Happ, .389 average. Three hits in the series for Longoria, a couple of doubles and an RBI. Breaking ball. The Rays trying to even this series, split the 4-game series, and some of their coaches felt like if they could split this season opening series, it'd be quite an accomplishment against the powerful Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, on the other hand, win the first 2 games of the series. They beat Archer and they beat Smiley, and they're thinking sweep with the lead late in last night's game. And now they have to shut out what happened in yesterday's ball game at the end. Try to win today's game, and they'll be happy with 3 out of 4 here. Head back home.
Ball hit to right. Bautista's got a beat on it. Guyer broke quickly. He'll have to retreat. 2 outs for Jay Happ. He split last season between the Mariners and the Pirates. He was a July trade deadline acquisition by Pittsburgh, and he really pitched well.
And you know,
the Pirates.
We talk about the new and improved, but one of the things he did, he started using his fastball just a little bit more when he went over to the Pirates. You can see 72.4% of the time he used that fastball. when he got over there, and they just couldn't figure it out. They hit 267 of them, and one of the lowest average on a high fastball also after August the 1st. He's not afraid to pitch at the upper parts of the strike zone. For some reason, he throws that fastball up there, and batters just can't catch up to it.
Yeah, you've hit against guys like that in the past. It's not overpowering in the velocity department, but you just don't see the ball well up there.
And you think you can do a lot with the ball. You think you can knock it out of the ballpark, and you either foul it back, or you swing right through it, or you hit a pop-up. Jay does that very, very well.
Steve Pearce is the batter. It's 1-0 to Pearce, who starts at first base this afternoon. Fly ball. Pilar's got plenty of room. He waves off Pereira, takes the ball, and Jay Happ is through the first. He hits a batter and nothing more. Scoreless after 1 here in St. Petersburg.
Rogers Center for another season as he opened up a 3-game series with the Boston Red Sox. Just one of a number of opponents making their way to Rogers Center this April, and we should let you know some great pitching matchups this weekend. Stroman will pitch on Friday. The battle of knuckleballers goes Saturday with Wright against Dickey, and then David Price makes his return to the Rogers Center on Sunday, going up against Marco Estrada. For tickets, go to BlueJays.com. Buck?
There should be a great weekend, and obviously everybody's anticipating a packed house Friday night. Hopefully it'll be the same Saturday afternoon and Sunday as well. Low strike, and Encarnacion wasn't sure about that. Right at the bottom of the strike zone. Ed went 3 for 12 so far in this series. That one got away from Matt Moore.
The low strike. I know it's a small sample size, 4 games. Don't you get the feeling that the umpires are calling the low strike a little bit more this year? I do.
There was a suggestion they were going to mandate that. And the commissioner, Rob Manfred, he was with us on opening day on Sunday. That had been a point of discussion all winter long. Watch this borderline pitch.
It's a strike.
It is a strike. 94 with the heater, and Moore strikes out Bautista and the first. Now gets Encarnacion to start the second.
By definition, it's from the knees to the letters, and when you can throw a ball down there, and then you've got that type of fastball that Matt Moore has, you're going to pick up your share of strikeouts.
Well, to be more specific, it's actually the hollow of the knee below your kneecap, and that's the bottom part of the strike zone. And when Matt Moore can throw a high fastball, top of the letters theoretically, and then get that low strike, that's a lot of area to cover.
I've just seen a lot of batters on the Blue Jays side shake their head after a couple of those low strikes called.
Well, I think too, there's so much replay around. So many games are on TV. Everybody's critical of the umpires because you can see every single pitch. And they have the benefit of slowing things down and saying, well, that was a ball, obviously. Well, you got to call it when it's 98 miles an hour in movement.
You know what? I don't have a problem with it. If it's a strike, it's a strike by definition. And I think eventually the players, they will adjust to the umpiring. They always do.
Troy Tulowitzki, 3 balls and a strike now. Tulowitzki has homered in this series. He has also hit a sac fly. He's got 3 RBIs. Check swing, ball 4. The appeal down to first. Mike Everett, the crew chief, said no swing, and that'll be the first base runner for the Blue Jays this afternoon.
First baseman, number 15.
No man aboard for Chris Colabello.
Let's take a look at this side view of where that pitch was. I think it was high enough, but I thought it was off the plate. You see the catcher Kurt Casale reach for that ball.
Chris Colabello digs in. Colabello is 0 for 7 to start his season with 4 strikeouts. This time a year ago, Colabello was in AAA playing for the Bisons. Then he got up to a great start. Would eventually be called up to join the Blue Jays in May.
Came up with a ton of big hits for the Blue Jays last year, and John Gibbons has rewarded him with starts in 3 of the first 4 games this year. He's got to get it going.
Colabello had an 18-game hit streak a year ago. He also hit very well against right-handed pitching. A .326 average for the season.
He hit everybody, and he hit it with power. He went gap to gap. Just a matter of time before he starts to swing it.
Well, you could kind of see that telegraph move by Matt Moore. He really had a higher leg kick when he went to first right there. Two and one to Colabello. And leaving the count with a breaking ball. Top of the second inning. Matt Moore struck out Encarnacion, then walked Tulowitzki. Russell Martin will follow. Changeup and a good one.
You know, hitters can go in and look at all the numbers and have an idea what Matt Moore is going to do to them. And if you look at the numbers, what he has done with his curveball last season, the overall usage at 23%. But when he gets 2 strikes, like he is right now against Chris Colabello, that thing jumps up to 1/3 of the time. 32% of the time he's going to throw that curveball. So as a right-handed hitter, you can file that away in your mind and say, okay, I'm going to be looking for that breaking ball when I get to 2 strikes and try and foul off everything else that he throws.
Good take by Colabello right at the bottom of the zone and just a bit lower.
What we're watching here early in this ball game against these right-handed power hitters of the Blue Jays, Matt Moore is going to be throwing a few more changeups. And that has been the problem in his early parts of his career. The consistency with his breaking ball and his changeup, throwing him for strikes.
Tulowitzki might be on the move here with a full count and 1 out. Not running. Colabello strikes out, another strikeout. 4 more, 3 so far.
Might have been ball 4. Crossed him up and went fastball, and watch the movement up and away as he picks up his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Chris Archer struck out 12 on Sunday in the opener. Jake Odorizzi had 10 last night. It's only the 6th time a team has had double-digit strikeouts in 2 of their first 3 games of a season.
And the bullpen was getting into the act the first couple of games of this series for the Rays.
Russell Martin, he's had success against Moore in the past, couple of home runs. Blue Jays aren't about making any excuses, but it's been a tough week. They finished up spring training, had an off day last Thursday, flew to Montreal, played Friday night, Saturday afternoon, came back and started the season on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, you got Chris Archer and Drew Smiley and Jake Odorizzi and Matt Moore you got to deal with. I mean, it's not like it's some AAA pitchers out there.
Yeah, and everybody's already talking about the alarming number of strikeouts. Well, consider who they're hitting against. Off the plate inside. 3-1 now to Russell Martin. Tulowitzki with the 1-out walk. He's at first. Russell went around, full count.
That's a good looking pitch right there. That looked like it might have been right in his wheelhouse. Down and in fastball. Throw it again.
Tulowitzki will be on the move at first. There he goes, and Martin strikes out. Matt Moore has struck out the side in the top of the 2nd. That changeup gets Martin.
Had last summer after the trade to Pittsburgh. Well, he told me one of the big reasons behind his turnaround was Pirates pitching coach Ray Searage. He says he really helped him figure out what he was doing wrong and correct it. And Jay Happ is a guy who's very loyal to pitching coaches. In fact, he told me point blank the reason he re-signed so quickly with Toronto was because of Pete Walker. He says they had a great relationship last time around, and Pete is a guy who really knows exactly what he wants to do on the mound. So a couple of pitching coaches very instrumental in the career of Jay Happ.
Well, Jay Happ really signed quickly in the offseason, 3 years, $36 million, but he didn't really shop around much. Once he found out Toronto was interested, he signed up quickly.
The thing that Barry was talking about, what Ray Searage did, is he got Jay back on top to get his hands on top of that fastball, and his fastball became more consistent. They were trying to get him to drop down in Seattle, and they got him back up on top, and Ray Searage did a good job.
This is Desmond Jennings, and this is the hitter that hit that line drive that struck Jay Happ in the head, and it rattled Desmond Jennings just as much as it did Jay Happ. He was very concerned about it and checked on Happ's well-being after the fact. 2-1.
He had the knee injury, if you remember that. He also had the head injury and the knee injury. We saw him after that. Man, that was very scary. He said he was going to be okay. He was going to be out for a while, but very scary.
High fly ball into shallow left field. Carrera, the left fielder, coming in. Boy, he did a good job. He never took his eye off that ball, and especially during day games here in this ballpark, that roof is really a challenge for outfielders.
And that ball just disappears if it goes up and you take your eye off of it. Let's take a look at the raw numbers of Jay Happ in the second half last year after he was traded to Pittsburgh. That's right at the trade deadline at the end of July. Strikeouts per 9, almost 10 for Happ. Home runs, they went down to 0.4. He's a fly ball pitcher, so that's a very good number. And there's the earned run average for Happ, outstanding at 1.85. Only Jake Arrieta was better in the National League than Happ. And it all has to do with fastball command. Staying on line and driving your body towards home plate. At times, Jay would fall off the mound and that arm would drag just a little bit. And you remember him when he was a young pitcher. Everything was up and away, and then he'd try to overcompensate and shoot the ball over the strike zone.
Steven Souza Jr. had a check swing foul on the first pitch. It's a ball on the strike. The right fielder has found a home here with Tampa Bay. Has a lot of power. He homered in game 2 of this series to the opposite field against R.A. Dickey. Kevin Pillar shaded in the alley. We'll watch this one hit off the wall. Souza is headed for second, and he'll get in there with a stand-up double. Pillar was shaded in that direction, but it was hit on line and deep to the wall in deep center field.
And Kevin knew that he wasn't going to catch that ball. That was a pretty swing by Steven Souza, where he stayed right with it. Watch him let the ball get to him. Little low ball hitter and drives that ball to right field. That ball is going to be slicing away from Pillar. Kevin did the next best thing, just play it off the wall and get it back in quickly. Hold him to a double.
Tim Beckham making his first start of the season. Half gets ahead of Beckham with a fastball. Beckham, a former #1 pick of the Tampa Bay Rays, and it took him a long time to develop. He was drafted out of high school.
First overall, wasn't he? #1 overall in the whole draft.
He grew up in rural Georgia and played in a small high school, and they took him on his physical skills, obviously, but it's just taken him a long time. He signed in 2008, didn't make it to the big leagues until 2013, and that was a very small sampling in 13, just 5 games. Good pitch down and away, and Happ records his first strikeout. Took something off that pitch to Beckham.
That's what the Rays will do. They'll take those high school players and they will make sure that when they are ready for the big leagues, they're not going to go back. This time Jay Happ just has the upper hand. How about that cutter in a good spot right on the outside corner? Half-hearted swing right there from Beckham. I don't think he was expecting that ball away like that to come back.
If I were the Blue Jays, I'd be looking for the bunt right here. Lefty on lefty. Colabello's deep at first. You got a left-handed pitcher. Kiermaier takes one inside. Kiermaier was out early this morning, hitting off the pitching machine, practicing his bunting.
Normally, I'd say yes, but with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, why leave it up to the guy behind you, right? Try and drive him in yourself.
That's what he's doing. Ball and a strike. Kiermaier's had a good series. We mentioned he's reached base in 6 of his 11 plate appearances. He's 4 for 9 with a couple of RBIs. Souza has good speed. He's at second, and there's a half-hearted swing, and he goes too far.
He hasn't had a lot of at-bats versus the lefties. He's just starting to play every day now at the major league level, so you'll see these types of at-bats or swings. You can see upset with himself. Lefty on left. Left-handed pitcher versus left-handed batter. Keep that ball away from him. Make him reach for it.
Martin wants it up. He missed down and away and looked like a strike. Kiermaier now with a 2-2 count. Full count. Well, you got to get Kiermaier. You got a power hitting right-handed hitter in the 9th spot.
He just overthrew that last pitch. They wanted that thing down and away, and he let go of it and just overpowered that fastball.
Line to Barney. Kiermaier hit it sharply, but right at the second baseman. The Rays get a double, but Jay Happ strands a runner in scoring position.
In 4K with captivating detail and 4 times the resolution of HD. Every play comes to life. Sportsnet brings you 4K. Visit sportsnet.ca/4K for more information, and it all begins Friday with the Honda home opener as the Blue Jays take on the Red Sox. Buck, I've had a chance to see 4K, and man, oh man, does it look good.
It sure does look good, and all of our fans can see 4K. There have been a lot of Ks here in this ball game already, and a lot of Ks in the series. The Blue Jays have now struck out 40 times in 4 games.
Did Barry say it looks good or I look good in 4K?
Yeah, well, he was thinking he looked good.
That's what I thought he was saying.
Good too. Ezequiel Carrera gets his first start of the season. He's in left field. Michael Saunders has a little bit of a hamstring issue. This is a very hard playing surface here at Tropicana Field, and all players will feel it from time to time. A little tapper toward short, back amongst the throw in, really not in time. Base hit for Carrera.
You know what else it is? It's a slow surface also. It will pick up speed when it gets to you, but it's very slow when it comes off the bat, and I think that worked to Carrera's advantage. Beckham playing deep at shortstop, rounded into that ball, got off to a pretty good throw, but Carrera can run, and he's thinking base hit in the first at bat of the season, and he gets it.
Number 8 hitters aboard for Darwin Barney, and don't be surprised they play hit and run right off the bat. Matt Moore is thinking the same.
Same thing.
Bottom part of this order. Barney can really handle the bat. Carrera, of course, can run. Then you want to turn the lineup over, hope to get a runner in scoring position for the big guys. Slide step ball upstairs.
I like what he did there. He threw over to first base, and then he quick pitched him. That if anything was on, Carrera was not going to get a good jump. That all goes into being a very good pitcher. Holding base runners, varying your delivery to home.
Change up. Ball on the strike to Darwin Barney. He gets the start today, his first start of the season. Joined Blue Jays last September.
This might be the spot right here if they want to put something on. 1-1.
Hit him. So they don't have to play hit and run. First and second, that'll turn the lineup over. So 2 aboard to start the top of the third. But you know that might have been in the back of their mind saying, you know, we got to crowd them here. We don't want to let them swing the bat and play hit and run. But they hit Barney.
You could hear it might have just clipped his jersey. Yeah, as he was trying to get out of the way, the jersey puffed out. The ball hit it. Now the infield for the Rays are expecting something from Pilar. They're all shortening up.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising in the third inning, and Pilar takes a pitch inside. He shows bunt. That might be a decoy right there. Kevin Pilar been swinging the bat well early on. He has collected 4 hits in this series.
He has just missed a couple of pitches too. He had fastballs to work with and popped them up. You can see the infield in at the corners. He fakes the bunt. Now slash away.
Oh, he got a pitch to hit. Popped it up. Here's the first baseman. Infield fly rule is in effect, and he catches the ball in fair territory. Pilar got a pitch to hit. Popped it up.
Got underneath that one. His hands went under the baseball instead of through the ball. It ended up popping up. Watch a fastball inside. Watch how his hands get underneath that ball. The arc of the bat through the strike zone was not a good one.
1 out now for Josh Donaldson. He grounded out to short in his only at bat. JD hit a 3-1 fastball for his first home run of the season. That came on Monday night. He hit it off the left-hander Drew Smiley. Moore's done a good job of mixing his pitches, but right there he might have mixed up his catcher.
I think he did. That's why he's going to go out there and talk to him. Man at second base, we're going to use the second sign or the first sign after 2. What would you rather have when you get crossed up, a curveball or a fastball?
Oh, breaking ball.
Breaking ball. Because you can see it.
If you look for a breaking ball called a fastball, it's like 150 miles an hour. And your glove feels like it weighs 20 pounds. Little indecision here in the mind of Matt Moore. Josh Donaldson will do that to you.
I tell you, I wouldn't be worried so much about the guy standing at second base. I'd be worried about the guy standing at home.
And the one standing behind him and the one standing behind him.
It just seemed like Matt Moore was looking at Carrera so much. Even when he started his movement towards home, he took another quick glance at the runner behind him.
Good cut. Donaldson just a tad off. Two balls and 2 strikes. Still no score in the ball game. Top of the third inning. Each club with a hit. It's a 3-run home run for Donaldson. Donaldson with his first 2 home runs here at Tropicana Field in this series.
That was another 2-strike home run for Josh Donaldson. He hit 13 of them last year. And yeah, he's had 7 strikeouts so far early in this season, but this time he's not going to miss it. Fastball inner half, and we have liftoff to left field. 3-run home run. He says he watches video 10 to 15 minutes a day to get an idea of what a guy is going to try and do to him.
Small price to pay. What a beautiful swing. There's that high leg kick. The foot's down. The hands are now charging toward that baseball, and he finished up with a 3-run homer. Bautista hits a shot. It's hooking and foul off that wall, a low fence down there, just wide of the foul pole.
That was a beautiful at bat by Josh Donaldson. Fouled off that tough pitch and took one, and then he just went back to that fastball one too many times. Left it out over the plate.
Well, he was upset earlier in that at bat because he missed a pitch. He had a good swing at it. Bautista puts a good swing on this one. That ball is rifled into the alley. Kiermaier plays it back in quickly. Bautista with his first hit of the afternoon.
A sense of urgency from Jose in that at bat after the home run by Donaldson. He rifles that ball down the left field line. Then he gets this little off-speed pitch and rifles that into the gap. Good to see when he's yanking balls like that from the left-hander.
Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts. More got in the second. Struck out the side. Isn't it amazing? It's just it's such a pattern. Give these guys 2 looks at a pitcher and they'll figure him out.
They'll figure him out to put the game plan together. Also, the key again, how many times did we say it last year? 8 and 9 get on base, flip that lineup around, and you got to deal with the big boys.
Last year, primarily, Pilar and Goins were down in the bottom of the order, and they did a terrific job of turning that lineup over. And Bautista told them way back in the spring a year ago, don't worry about getting hits, worry about getting on base.
Just get on base, and we will knock you in. Devin Travis hit down there for the first month of the season, hit over 300.
Travis hit 6 home runs in the month of April. 1-1 count to Edwin Encarnacion. Again, I don't think Bautista's running.
Worrying about those base runners.
Well, as long as you throw to first, nothing can really happen bad. Second time through the order, numbers jump against Matt Moore. Well, he has slowed down the pace too, hasn't he?
He struck out 4 of the 5 batters in the middle of this lineup. Bautista, Encarnacion, Colabello, Martin. But since then, hit by pitch, home run, single. And you're right, he has taken this to a snail's pace.
Okay, that ball was down and in. It's 3-1 now to Edwin. Edwin hit that ground ball to third in the 9th inning last night, and I don't know if I've ever seen him run faster. The tying run was at third base. He thought about it being a double play ball, which it eventually turned out to be, but he beat the relay throw to first. Full count, just one out. Tulowitzki will bat next if Blue Jays can stay out of a double play. In the old days, Pat, they used to holler you had a chance to get him when he was at the plate.
And you missed out on it. I don't think he's going to be running here. You don't want to chance to strike him out, throw him out. I want to get Tulowitzki, guarantee him to the plate this inning.
There's a base hit to center. Bautista's got his eye on Kiermaier. He'll stop right there.
Kiermaier, one of the better throwing outfielders in all of baseball. 15 outfield assists. Last year, the ball was hit hard by Encarnacion. He's not going to take a chance of getting thrown out. He did a good job, though, Bautista, of decoying like he was going to try and go first to third. And you say, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, you get that outfielder rushing himself just a little bit, and he peeks up and he sees that Bautista's thinking about it. Maybe he boots the ball, lifts his glove up a little bit too quick.
That is such a good point. Don't allow the defense to take any plays off. Put the pressure on them by running hard. Troy Tulowitzki walked in the second. He takes a deep, high drive to center. Kiermaier has room. Bautista's going back to tag. Kiermaier makes the catch. Jose moves up. Tulowitzki hit it to the deepest part of this ballpark, down in that triangle in deep center field.
Deep left center field. I think that's even further than the 404 to straightaway center field because it jets out just a little bit. You can see that little triangle. That's where he hit it. Got under it just a hair. He was hunting high fastball. You can see just a little bit too high to get that ball up and out of here. But I'll take that swing.
He hits that on Friday night. It's a 3-run homer. Chris Colabello struck out into second. 3-0 Blue Jays on the 3-run home run by Josh Donaldson. Broken bat. Beckham was in the hole. He'll go to first and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays scored 3 runs on 3 hits and a hit batter. Capped off by one swing of the bat of the AL MVP. Josh Donaldson hits a 3-run shot. His second home run in the series, and the Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead.
fans, listen up. For a chance to go see the Blue Jays next year in spring training, for a chance to win, purchase an eligible bag of Old Dutch potato chips and enter the UPC code at bluejays.com/Old Dutch contest. One lucky fan will win a trip to 2017 Blue Jays spring training in Dunedin, Florida. Your prize includes tickets, airfare, and hotel. For full contest rules, go to bluejays.com/Old Dutch.
Kurt Casale goes after the first pitch. Tulowitzki, the shortstop, he had a bead on it. Barney was there just in case. Anything up in the air this afternoon is going to be a challenge for all the defenders.
Number 11, second baseman, Logan Forsythe.
Looks like his newer glove of the two that he carries with him on a regular basis, his gamer, he had that break in Monday night's game, and he has not brought it back since. So the webbing of that glove broke. First play he had Monday night went right through the webbing, and he probably broke the webbing and not just the laces.
Yeah.
Logan Forsythe hit that ball, and it was a ball in the hole at short.
That's the new gamer, getting it right. I think he could take a sponge out there and field ground balls and not make errors. That's how good he is.
Jay Happ pours that fastball past Logan Forsythe. Jay Happ and Donaldson both with this ball club, and Donaldson, of course, was in Oakland when Jay Happ was here before, but now they are teammates. That ball is hit into center. Pilar, he had a beat on it all the way. 2 down.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with turbo. The 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Beautiful afternoon in the Tampa Bay area. You see off in the distance, that's the roof of Tropicana Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Brendan Guyer was hit by a pitch his first time up. Another thing that we have noticed in Happ's return to the Blue Jays, he's working much quicker. He was very deliberate. Always took a lot of time between pitches.
There are keys that the pitching coach will look at each one of his pitchers, and talk to Pete Walker about some of the keys for Jay Happ, and one of them is his stride is very important.
Good inning for Jay Happ. 3 up, 3 down on just 9 pitches. He picks up his second strikeout of the afternoon. We'll go to the 4th. Blue Jays up 3-0.
The Stro Show. Marcus Stroman, a look back at his remarkable comeback from ACL surgery. From being told his season was over before it began to being the pitcher on opening day this year and coming back last year in September. He said his return was going to be legendary, and it certainly was. It's this Saturday on Sportsnet. Buck, our department does such a great job with these features, and I'm expecting this one to be another fantastic one.
I would expect the same, Barry Davis, and there's a fine young man right there, and he has an awful lot of personality, and he's got a very interesting story to tell as well. Russell Martin takes one up and away for a ball. That starts the top of the 4th inning.
Hey!
1-1 now. Russell Martin wasn't so sure about that. Breaking ball right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Check out the pitch trackers. The first 3 pitches here to Russell Martin.
Pretty tough.
Now was he going to go down and away and hit all 4 corners? Just about. Very impressive sequence right there from Matt Moore.
5 strikeouts for Moore. Second time he's gotten Russell Martin this afternoon.
Decided to go fastball up and away. He got beat with a couple of off-speed pitches last inning. Saying, you know what, I better go to my best pitch now with 2 strikes. Elevated fastball.
1 out for Ezequiel Carrera, and here's where the problems began for Moore last inning. Carrera had an infield single to start the inning. That led to a 3-run inning. Now the breaking ball, he's quickly ahead 0-2. Josh Donaldson, we don't know what's going on with him, but there's something physically bothering him. Trainer has checked on him. The manager has checked on him. Obviously, we can't tell anything from up here, but I don't think he's feeling 100%.
No. This is something that we picked up on in his last at bat right before the home run. He calls timeout, like there's something in his eye or something. And in between inning, he's talking to George Poulos and he's talking to John Gibbons, and he's got a little rag or something to wipe his face. Don't know what it is.
Well, you don't want to ever speculate on what's going on with a player on the field, but looking at what he's going through, and I can relate to my own situation here during the spring. Allergies have really killed me all spring long. There's a lot of oak pollen down here this time of the year, and you see on the white cars everywhere, there's green pollen dust all over the place. But like I say, I'm not sure what it is, but he just has that look about him, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. And you watch him in between innings. He had like a little bandage or something, and he sticks in his back pocket that he's been able to blow his nose, wipe his eyes. You see he's always messing with that like it's running.
Pulled on the ground. Forsythe waits for the extra hop, and Herrera made it close at first. I know one thing about Josh Donaldson. He's not coming out of this game. He's got a 3-run home run already, and he's feeling pretty good at the plate, wanting to get that stroke down before the opener on Friday night.
Can't take this guy out of the lineup.
Plays 150 games every year. Every inning of every game. Darwin Barney cuts on the first pitch. Barney was hit by a pitch and scored the 2nd run on the Josh Donaldson 3-run home run.
He's a valuable little player, isn't he?
He is a good player.
Yeah. First of all, he can field. He's a Gold Glove winner back in 2012, and he can play multiple positions for you. And you don't lose anything defensively when you put him in there. You know, Ryan Goins is an exceptional second baseman, but Darwin Barney's the one with the hardware in his career.
Gold Glove with the Cubs in 12. Pulled on the ground to another Gold Glover, Evan Longoria. Quick inning for Matt Moore, a bounce back inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Jay Happ and the Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead over Tampa Bay.
So register now at sportsnet.ca/fantasy for the Sportsnet Fantasy Playoffs Pool presented by Samsung. Make your picks for a chance to win prizes. A little strange, Buck. No Canadian teams at all in the postseason this year.
I would say that's a little strange. That's really hard to fathom that you would have one Canadian team in the postseason. Maple Leafs, in my mind, are headed in the right direction. They're not going to be too long before they're pretty good. Evan Longoria will lead things off for the Rays here in the fourth. Longoria, Pearson, Jennings. First pitch strike by Jay Happ. You might be right about that low strike.
I like it.
They call them a lot of low strikes.
Short, small sample size.
Longoria dumps this one into center in front of Kevin Pillar.
But we have seen a lot of low strikes all around baseball being called early in this season.
Save during the homeowner sale only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
That is the beautiful Sunshine Skyway south of St. Petersburg. That is Highway 275 headed toward Bradenton and Sarasota. This is Steve Pearce. Pearce for the series is 1 for 4 now. And Pearce hit that ball off of Brett Cecil here in game 2. And Kevin Pillar made that terrific diving catch out in center field.
Doesn't hit for a real high average, but if you make a mistake, he can reach the seats. 15 home runs last season for Baltimore and had a big season the year before that with the Orioles.
21 home runs that year, and he really had a breakthrough season. That's cued right off the end of the bat. Pearce is from Lakeland, Florida. He actually went to the same high school as Drew Hutchison, went to Lakeland High School. Signed originally with the Pirates. 8th round pick in 2005. There's a base hit. That's over Tulowitzki into left field. Longoria jogs into second. Back-to-back base hits for the Rays here in the fourth.
Good low ball hitter, Steve Pearce. He went down and got that one. He's trying to keep the ball down because he wants a ground ball, but caught too much of the plate. And it's out over the plate. A couple of singles to lead off the fourth inning here for the Rays.
Not a bad pitch. Right at the bottom of the zone. Pearce put a good swing on it. Desmond Jennings out to left his first time up. A good call by Russell Martin, starting Jennings off with a breaking ball.
Real cutter right there. We were talking about keys to look for, and the stride I think is so important for Jay Happ. And when he starts to overstride, that's when the ball really starts to shoot up and away to right-handers. He'll measure off a couple of steps from that pitching rubber and make sure he hits it every single time. And if he's not overstriding, that helps him to keep his arm up and drive the ball into the strike zone.
Happ ahead 0-2.
Call for the breaking ball. Russell Martin does a great job of keeping that ball in front of him. Happ can sink that fastball too now. He's got a four-seam fastball. He can sink it to help his pitch count. He can get the ball on the ground.
Another ball in the dirt. Another block by Martin. Runners have to hold their ground. This is a big at bat right here for Jay Happ. He's got Jennings with a 2-2 count. Got a powerful right-handed hitter on deck.
who looked really comfortable against him his first time up. So yeah, this is a huge at bat right here. That's Steven Souza.
Got him. High heater and blows it right by him. Third strikeout of the afternoon for a half, and it's a timely strikeout indeed.
After a couple of off-speed pitches that were down, he reached back for a little something extra right there. Touched 94 with that heater. Remember we told you that he can pitch in the upper parts of the strike zone and get away with it? He does right there.
Jay Happ has had a double-digit strikeout game 4 different times in his career. The last time he had double-digit strikeouts, September 9th last season at Cincinnati while pitching for the Pirates. He had no walks, 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. Of course, he had that stretch in 2012 in which he struck out 6 straight Texas Rangers. And it was a tough lineup. Russell got crossed up right there. He was ready to block a ball, and Happ threw him a fastball.
Had a little extra carry to it, so Russell got the glove on it. He was expecting breaking ball and got the glove on it. Can't close it.
Two and 0 to Steven Souza Jr. Happ has become unpredictable. The extra weapons have served him well.
The cutter, his changeup is better. He can sink his fastball. He'll throw more fastballs and he'll throw more strikes. Good take. Souza has been known to be a free swinger. Had a good take right there.
Russell Martin wanted it. It's now 3-1. Souza doubled off the wall in deep right center. His first time up. Hits this one hard, and that's in front of Carrera. He knocks it down. Runners move up 90 on the line drive by Souza, who's 2 for 2 against Happ.
2 hard hit balls too. Stayed back, didn't overcommit too quickly on that 3-1 pitch. Let the ball get to him. Blue Jays just fortunate he doesn't get this ball elevated, because he is all over this one. The ball's hit so hard that Longoria, the runner at second base, has to hold up to make sure that Carrera doesn't come up with it.
3 hits this inning. Russell Martin with some words for Tulowitzki, possibly about how they're going to attack Tim Beckham. So Tulowitzki retreats to his position at short. Beckham struck out on a cutter down and away in his only at bat. Good pitch, quality pitch on the first pitch of an at bat.
Stay right there. Beckham is looking for something middle in that he can do some damage with. You can see what he has done in his career with the bases loaded. Throw another one down there. Maybe you can get him to roll over on it.
Took a shot at that outside corner. 1-1 count to the Rays shortstop. Longoria singled to center. Pierce then singled to left, and Souza did the same 1 out later. That's a base hit. Longoria is coming in to score. They're going to stop Pierce as Herrera gets it back in quickly. Beckham with an RBI single. That's the 4th hit of the inning.
John Gibbons sees something right now. He's going to send Pete Walker out first of all to go out and talk to his starter Jay Happ, and he's going to get that bullpen cranked up. We'll probably see Gavin Floyd get up. They're pinging him right now. 4 singles in this inning.
Well, we had mentioned, as you see, Joe Biagini loosening up the Rule 5 player that made his first opening day roster. He's going to try to get loose in a hurry here. Big right-hander has never pitched above Double-A. So Jay Happ continues to have his share of problems here in this ballpark. The Rays now have a run on 5 hits, 4 of those hits coming in this inning. He came into this game, and the Rays had a .351 batting average against Jay Happ in his 5 previous outings here. Kevin Kiermaier.
Just like the Blue Jays, second time through the lineup, the Rays have picked up on something here.
Strike. Kiermaier wasn't so sure about that. Kiermaier is a tough customer to double up. 7 ground ball double plays last year in 535 plate appearances. He can fly.
Home to first would be the only way. Give him a breaking ball here.
A strikeout. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 4 in the game for Happ.
He was looking for the breaking ball, and he powered one by him. Kiermaier lined out last time. This time can't catch up to that heater.
Kurt Casale with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Now wait a minute. That looked like it was right there. Called a ball.
Casale with 10 home runs a year ago. 7 of those coming right here at Tropicana Field. Him up. Barney ranging out into the outfield, calls for it, and Happ is through the 4th. He minimizes the damage. Just 1 run on 4 hits. The Rays continue to strand base runners. They leave the bases loaded. Now time for Blue Jays Central update from the Samsung broadcast studio. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
only official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays. New 2016 authentic jersey with 40th season sleeve patch available now. Get yours today at jshop.ca. Doesn't matter where we go, Buck, we see lots and lots of fans with that Blue Jays gear on.
Absolutely, Barry, and it doesn't make any difference if you're young or old. They've got something for everybody, so check it out, jshop.ca. Jay Happ gave up a run, but he got a big pop-up with the bases loaded. Got Kurt Casale to end the threat. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar 0 for 2 is grounded out and popped up.
These are the games last year where the Blue Jays, if they gave up a run and you can feel the momentum starting to shift, they would jump right back on that pitcher and get that run back, if you remember. Keep the pressure on Matt Moore.
Matt Moore's only problems came in the third inning. 8 Blue Jays went to the plate in the third inning. He scored 3 runs on one swing of the bat, a 3-run homer by Josh Donaldson. Everybody hit in that third inning except Russell Martin. They seem to be pretty confident working Kevin Pillar away.
3-2.
Fly ball, a little looper into center. Kiermaier gets there. Pillar is 0 for 3. So Josh Donaldson will step to the plate. Last time up, he had a long home run to left.
84 extra base hits last year. And here's another one this year. One of those high arching home runs. He knows when he gets it. That one's not coming back. 3 quick runs with one swing of the bat.
Two home runs in the series. The first 2 home runs he's ever hit in this ballpark. Moore's done a good job when he gets that fastball down. He throws fastball and the breaking ball right at the bottom of the zone.
He and Jay Happ are very similar, that they've got such a quick arm that that ball's on top of you. It says 92 on the radar gun, but it might look like about 95 or 96.
Moore didn't make his first start of the 2015 season until July 2nd, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Donaldson will take ball 4, 1 out walk. He'll reach for Jose Bautista.
Right fielder, number 19,
Jose's 1 for 2. He had a line single to left in that 3-run third inning. Bautista has hit 46 home runs against left-handed pitchers since 2010. Of course, 2010 was his 50 home run season, first of back-to-back home run titles for Jose.
Nobody's hit more home runs than this guy right here in baseball over that time. Could use one right here.
Donaldson stays put at first. Ball was in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Since 2010, Bautista has averaged 37.8 home runs a season. That's the best in the American League. Edwin Encarnacion is in the 3rd spot. He's behind Miguel Cabrera. Well, there are some terrific hitters in this Blue Jays lineup.
And this is versus the Rays over that period of time. 2010, 27 home runs for Bautista, more than anybody. Edwin right behind him, and these guys back to back. It's got to be very unnerving for that pitcher. Doesn't it seem also that they're always coming up in big situations?
It sure does. And I think that's why when you look at the construction of their lineup, Donaldson's hitting 2nd, Bautista 3rd, and Encarnacion 4th. You want to get him up there as often as possible. Both Bautista and Encarnacion, and now with Donaldson in the 2 spot. I mean, it is a potent lineup.
I remember talking to a scout for the Kansas City Royals at the end of last season. They said that's the whole key to stopping the Blue Jays, is stopping those 3 guys. And he made that statement. It seems like every other inning these 3 guys are hitting for the Jays.
Well, that's what everybody used to say about Derek Jeter. It seemed like he always came to the plate in the 9th inning.
With the game on the line or in a big situation. That's what you're seeing more and more, I think, around baseball, is getting your best hitters up at the top of the lineup. They might not
spoils that one.
They might not be your fastest runners, or they might not have the highest on-base percentage, but you want your best hitters to have the most at-bats in a game.
Well, it just keeps pressure on the pitcher. You know, you got one tough at-bat in Donaldson, then you got Bautista to deal with, and another extended at-bat. Next is Edwin Encarnacion. Bautista didn't like that one at all. And pitch tracker will back him up. Looked like he was off the plate inside.
I think just the way that Curt Casale caught that ball, the catcher looked like he took it out of the zone. He backhanded. Didn't really do a real good job of framing that ball for Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire. Watch how he goes and catches that ball. How is that a strike?
Well, he was set up on the outside corner, and that's why he could never get his glove turned around.
Well, the definitive shot right here is the overhead shot. And Bautista thought it was inside.
He looked like it crossed over the inside corner, and Casale certainly made it look a lot worse than it actually was. There's a base hit for Encarnacion. Donaldson moves into 2nd. Edwin's 2 for 3. That's his 5th hit of the series. There'll be no spring training for Edwin from here on in.
No need, right? He took his ABs down at the minor league complex. Well, minor leaguers must be pretty good.
He knew exactly what he was doing, and he said, "I'll be fine. Don't worry about me." Troy Tulowitzki has walked and flied out. He just missed a home run his last time up. It was a high booming drive to the deepest part of this ballpark. Big right-hander Ryan Webb starts to loosen up.
Dodge the ball.
Moore has recorded 6 strikeouts, and with that his pitch count is closing in on 100. 2 outs in the 5th. I'm not a big pitch count guy, but we mention that because everybody else in the game is.
And when it hits triple digits, that's when they start thinking about taking him out of the game.
Well, of course, you have to protect Moore's arm. He just had Tommy John surgery in 2014. Moore has been a storied pitcher throughout his minor league career. In 2009, he led all minor league pitchers with 176 strikeouts. He also led in strikeouts per 9 innings, 12.9. And the lowest opponent's batting average in the minors at 195. He's been on the radar for quite a while.
Didn't he have a big strikeout game One of his first few games in the big leagues.
Yeah, he came to the big leagues, and in 2011 he pitched the opening game for the Rays in the ALDS as a 22-year-old. Popped up over near the seats. Pierce gives it a look, but it's well back out of play. Tulowitzki has driven in 3 in this series. There's some big runs out there on base now. We're in the 5th inning. Blue Jays just haven't been able to bust through. They've scored 5 runs in each of the first 2 games and were held to 2 runs in the loss last night.
Those runners will get a little bit of a head start now. 3 and 2, 2 outs. They will go with Matt Moore. Starts towards home plate.
Donaldson will break from second, and Encarnacion will follow suit from first. There they go. Pulled on the ground. Beckham has to gather and throw across the diamond in time. Matt Moore closes out the Blue Jays in the 5th. They get a walk and a base hit, but leave a pair. Friday night, you're going to see a new look at Rogers Center. This is the process of tearing up the infield and putting dirt in for the first time in franchise history. They'll have a dirt infield, Pat.
Get the cement cutters, break up all that infield, and then replace it with dirt, and it's transforming and starting to look like an infield now with that dirt. It's going to be interesting. The Blue Jays have a workout tomorrow on this field to get a good feel for it, but it should be a lot of fun.
Well, it's the Honda home opener Friday night. Lots going on from the Rogers Center. Sportsnet will have Tim and Sid live on scene from 4 to 6, and then everybody else, anybody else that's been on camera will be at Rogers Center on Friday night for that home opener. Make sure you're there. It should be a great time.
Doesn't it look great? The infield,
huh?
It
looks like
really
a baseball field.
Yeah.
It'll really be nice, and the players are anxious to get a feel for it. They'll have a workout on Thursday, as Pat mentioned, and they will test the infield for the first time.
Anxious to see how it plays because it played so slow last year.
Logan Forsythe hits one high in the air to right. Bautista makes a catch. One down in the bottom of the 5th.
You got to figure that it's going to play a little bit faster with the dirt.
You think the dirt will make it faster?
Make it faster.
Players talk about this field here, and they have always had it in their mind that Rogers Center is going to be something like this, but they're not really fond of this infield. The dirt surface is very hard. Josh Donaldson mentioned that he really feels it after playing a series here. Geyer goes after the first pitch and singles to right. He's 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Still a tight ball game, 3-1 game with a man aboard. Now Evan Longoria steps in. Longoria singled and scored the only Rays run back in the 4th. This is where Happ ran into trouble in the 4th. Longoria and Pierce singled. And then an out later, Souza and Beckham singled. That led to the only run. On the ground, Tulowitzki at short. Quickly to Barney, back to first. Double play. Jay Happ on the first pitch turned that ball over and got the ground ball to shortstop. And once you hit it to Tulowitzki, you can head to the dugout. You're going to be out. Tulowitzki to Darwin Barney, who got the start at second, converts the inning-ending double plays. Jay Happ appreciates the solid defense behind him.
Game be on the road without your phone. Well, now you can catch a game in the U.S. and share all your experiences as they happen with friends and family back home. With Roam Like Home from Rogers, you can use your phone exactly as you do at home, starting at $5 a day in the U.S. Go to Rogers.com/roamlikehome for more details. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. A lot of fans here, I'm sure, have their phones with them, and we're going to look at a new pitcher. This will be Ryan Webb, who is pitching for the second time in this series.
First time we saw him was on opening day, and he was the one to give up the eventual game winner, the big hit, the home run by Troy Tulowitzki. Doesn't give up many home runs. He's got that power sinker. He'll cut it to lefties. There are his numbers in 40 games last year when he was with the Indians. Big, tall right-hander, throws hard.
He is from Clearwater. He's a native of this part of the country. Chris Colabello looking for his first hit of the season. He is 0 for 9 to start the year. We mentioned Colabello in his first season hit .321 overall, hit .326 against right-handed pitching.
Chris can't believe that that ball was called a strike. You know, if you look at pitch tracker, right on the corner.
Pretty good spot down and away. Tough pitch to hit for sure.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That is almost impossible to hit.
Ground ball to the right side. Forsythe right on the edge of the dirt. Throws Colabello out. One down.
The all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Not far away from this ballpark, Tampa Bay, and all the great activities out on the water. Boy, the weather's been spectacular since we got back here on Saturday night.
I wouldn't know.
I never left the room.
I've been holed up in my room reading and the whole thing. The only time I go out is when we drive over to the ballpark.
I'll tell you, it's nice. I was by the pool a couple of days. It's really nice. Russell Martin takes a strike. Russell has struck out twice this afternoon. He too, like Colabello, looking for his first hit of the season. He's 0 for 10 so far.
It's like he's in between, meaning that he's looking for one pitch and the pitcher is throwing something else and he just can't pull the trigger. That's when you just say, okay, I'm going to swing as hard as I can. I'm going to see the ball and I'm going to swing as hard as I can, and good things could happen. Don't want to start guessing for pitches. Just see the ball.
What comes first in your mind, a pitcher's ability to locate and command his pitches, or a hitter's timing?
As a hitter, thinking as a hitter, I think your timing, is more important.
I think it takes longer for a hitter to get his timing than it does for a pitcher to get his command.
Okay, yeah, I agree 100%. You can have all the spring training you want unless you're Edwin Encarnacion. That you want.
Russell Martin is called out. Another strikeout for the Rays pitchers. Blue Jays have struck out 7 more times this afternoon. That's 43 times in this 4-game series.
A look of bewilderment right there from Russell Martin as he heads back to the dugout. Can't believe that was called a strike by Laz Diaz. One more time. Sure looks like it got plenty of the plate.
Ezequiel Carrera behind 0-2. Carrera got the start in left field today in place of Michael Saunders. Saunders was dealing with a minor hamstring problem. We were told nothing significant, but just an opportunity to give him a couple of days off his feet. Blue Jays have an off day tomorrow. Then they will have their Honda home opener Friday night against the Red Sox. Marcus Stroman against Rick Porcello. It should bring back memories of October baseball. Foul wide of first.
Cool weather.
Cool weather. I'm being kind.
I think it's going to warm up. But the roof will be closed. It'll be jam-packed. It'll be rocking and rolling. Marcus will be on the mound. Yeah, that'll remind us of those playoff games.
I was told earlier today that it was snowing quite heavily in Toronto.
Ouch.
We got your toque for tonight. 1-2, 2 outs. Fouled off the catcher.
I almost left my overcoat in my suitcase. That would have been a big mistake.
Yep. Going to be a little brisk, I'm sure, when we arrive tonight, but I think everybody is anxious to get to Toronto, get settled in, and have the first homestand of the season. Top of the 6th inning, Blue Jays lead it 3-1. Bouncing ball, Forsythe to the backhand, throws quickly, pulls him off the bag. Tim Leeper, the first base coach, says, I want to look at that one. It was a wide throw. Looked like it pulled Steve Pearce off the bag. And the first base coach is adamant. John Gibbons is going to check with the video room to see if they should challenge this call on the field. The ruling by Mike Everett, the crew chief, is that Carrera was out, and now they're going to look at it. So we'll have another review, and that has been the theme of this 4-game series, and the replay review powered by Samsung.
John Gibbons and DeMarlo Hale very quickly asked the umpiring crew to take a look at this one. That usually means that they saw something that'll turn into the Blue Jays' favor.
Well, for me, it just looked like it from the naked eye that the throw pulled him off. You can see Forsythe throwing across his body. That ball's going to tail and is going to pull Steve Pearce to his right. He stretches for it, and when he makes contact, does he have his foot on the base? Looked like he was off the base. That's not the greatest angle. I'm sure we'll have a better angle of that. Take a look at this replay.
That is a hard play for a right-handed throwing first baseman. He's running towards the bag, finding it, and now the throw is going in the opposite direction. You have to stop, reach back across your body, and try and stay engaged on that bag. Let's see, ball's almost in.
That's really tough to tell Mike Everett. You can't argue about his positioning to make the call. He had the perfect angle. He's the crew chief, so he's got the headset on. The call on the field stands. The inning is over. 3 up, 3 down inning for the Rays. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still a 3-1 game.
Sports Service delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. It also includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for more details. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. And the Blue Jays clinging to their 3-1 lead as the Rays are set to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Steve Pearce has singled and flied out, 1 for 2. Pearce, Jennings, and Souza for the Rays here in this 6th. Blue Jays bullpen is quiet at the moment.
That's where you want to pitch Steve Pearce, I think. You can see he's off of the plate. He strides towards home to keep that front shoulder in. He likes the ball away from him, where he can do things to him. That time Jay Happ tied him up.
Danny Farquhar loosening up for Tampa Bay. Remember, these games here at the Trop, they get decided late. This one is a ways from being over just yet.
But Jay Happ has done a good job of keeping that pitch count down. That's why he's back out there in the 6th. A little cutter and a little sinker has helped him keep that pitch count down.
Well, and that has been a big difference in his approach. And when he went to Pittsburgh, he made 11 starts for the Pirates, went 7-2, and he just became more aggressive. While he was in Seattle, he gave up 13 home runs in 109 innings. He didn't give up a home run, just one in his first 34 innings in Pittsburgh. Martin and Colomelo over near the Rays dugout, and Martin stays with it and makes a nice play. Always a challenge here inside the trop with the sun out outside, and it shines right through the Teflon roof.
You might be asking yourself, how does he fall down just trying to catch a pop-up? But I'm telling you, when you're running over there, you got a lot of things on your mind. You're thinking about running into the wall. You're thinking about your teammate. You got to pick up the ball, the backstop up on top up there, trying to look straight up, concentrate, and then make the play. There's a little give to him. You can see the ball almost popped out. And that's a tough play. Russell Martin makes it.
Just went back on his back and kind of cradled that ball in his glove up against his chest protector. 1 out. Desmond Jennings cuts on the first pitch. You know, there was so much controversy after the tough loss for the Blue Jays last night. They had a play ruled off the field and cost them 2 runs, and the game ended on a video review. But this team is all about the moment. They're not worried about last night's game. They're not going to say we got robbed. They're just going to go about their business, and they've come out with focus today.
Guarantee you that the leaders in that clubhouse said, you know what, that's one, put it behind us. We got a ball game to play this afternoon.
Kevin Pillar catches the fly ball off the bat of Desmond Jennings. 2 down. Well, here's a guy that they have to figure out. Steven Souza Jr. has hit the ball hard twice today. Doubled off the wall in right center and hit a sharp single right to Carrera on one hop and left. He's been on everything he swung at today.
This whole series. Remember, he homered to right field, lined out a couple of times, hit a couple of hard ground balls to shortstop. Been on everything.
He's 4 for 13 in the series, but he has homered. That came off our decade. He's doubled here this afternoon. Two and one. Happ trying to get through 6, and you made a great point about his pitch count. That was always a concern when he was with the Blue Jays 2 years ago. There's a deep drive to center. Pillar breaking it down. Now the ball carries on him and goes over the wall. Kevin Pillar looked like he expected it to be short of the wall, then the ball kept carrying. I'm not sure if it hit his glove, but it bounced off the top of the fence and went out of the ballpark for a home run. Souza's second of the series.
You know, for a moment there, it looked like he had a beat on it. And then I think the ceiling is in effect once again. He's got it. He sees the wall, and then it jumps on him a little bit. It bounces off the top of the wall. That's a ball that we have seen Pillar make catches on in the past. See those last couple of steps? I think it went back up into that white background. He lost it for a minute, and then he finds it right there, jumps, and then misses it.
Yeah, it hit the top of the fence and bounces out of the ballpark. But I think you're right. I think he lost it for a moment when he picked it up again. It was deeper than he expected. So Souza is 3 for 3. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times today.
Well, he did the right thing. He kept it into the biggest part of the ballpark. And normally, Pillar comes up with that. Couldn't have bounced off the fence and back into play, could it? Not today.
That's the first home run Jay Happ has ever surrendered in this ballpark. I mentioned that he's been hit hard, but had never allowed a home run until the Souza home run to center. There's a fly ball. Pillar took a step back, and now he's got a long way to go, and he gets there and makes the catch. So the inning is over. Steven Souza 3 for 3. He hits a deep home run to center with 2 outs, and it hits the top of the fence. Pilar has a bead on it, goes for it, and it bounces out of the ballpark off the top of the fence. It's a 1-run game, but the Jays still lead it.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new Honda Civic, now available with Turbo, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Welcome back to St. Petersburg. It's a 1-run game. New pitcher into the game is Denny Farquhar, making his 2nd appearance of the season. Ryan Webb retired the side in order. Darwin Barney hits it hard, but right to the right fielder, 1 down.
We saw Farquhar a couple of nights ago. A couple of strikeouts and a runner left on base. 43 games last year with Seattle, 1-8 with a 5 earned run average. Farquhar's got a good arm. He has closed games in the past. He'll cut the ball a lot. You'll see a lot of cutters from Danny. And righties hit over 300 against him, which is a bit of a surprise with how hard he throws and as many cutters as he throws.
Kevin Pilar. There's the breaking ball. Sweeps in there for a strike. This is popped up down the left side, headed toward the seats. Longoria and Beckham are there, but it's beyond the fence into the seats. Much to the delight of that fan. Not a bad crowd here for a Wednesday afternoon, this opening series. Farquhar pitched Monday night. He caught Pilar looking for strike 3. Farquhar came in, gave up a leadoff double to Saunders, and then retired Goins, Tolley, and Kevin Pilar to strand Michael Saunders. Pilar strikes out. That's 8 strikeouts now for the Blue Jays in this ball game.
A little alarming. You know you're going to get your share of strikeouts from the Tampa Bay Rays. Usually you're going to get it from the fastball or a hard slider. Today we've seen a lot of changeups from Moore and Webb and Farquhar.
Blue Jays have now struck out 44 times in this series. The Blue Jays franchise record for strikeouts offensively in a 4-game series is 46. They had 46 strikeouts against Tampa Bay at home in 2011. That's a lot of swings and misses. But if they hold on and win this game, they'll take it.
Yeah, who cares, right? But consider the source, who you're matched up against.
Josh Donaldson rips it down the left side past the Blue Jays bullpen. That's Gavin Floyd loosening up for the Jays. Floyd really threw the ball well all spring long. He has yet to pitch in a game. Donaldson spoils that pretty good pitch down and away. Donaldson is really interesting in his approach at the plate. He actually gets everything started as if he's going to swing almost at every pitch, and he gets a lot of momentum going, especially with his hands.
I think that helps him to read pitches. He talks about creating time with his swing instead of timing, creating time back there where he's laying back, waiting for that breaking ball, and then when he starts his swing, that's when he wants to be fast as he is finishing his swing.
That's over the mound. Donaldson, you can see him. He's not well. He had something going on all afternoon. We're not sure what it is, but he just jogged out of that batter's box, and he might be done for the day. He hasn't been feeling well all afternoon, but he was healthy enough to hit a 3-run home run, and that stands up as the Blue Jays have a 3-2 lead. Donaldson waves at this breaking ball, and you can see him very tentative as he tried to make his way up the first baseline. The telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Another terrific ball game taking place here at Tropicana Field. Jay Happ out to start the 7th. Darwin Barney started at second base. He moves over to third, taking over for Josh Donaldson, who is out of the ball game. With Barney moving to third, Ryan Goins comes off the bench. He has played all 3 games prior to this game at second base. He is the new second baseman.
Well, let's hope that it's not an injury, that he might just be feeling under the weather, that he has to come out of the game. The way he swung at that pitch and then started towards first base, something didn't look right there.
Well, with no reason to speculate on what it might be, but obviously he is hurt, out of the ball game now.
Very gingerly comes out of that batter's box after this swing. He has to reach for it, and then right there shuts it down.
Kiermaier with the leadoff walk. Kiermaier was hit by a pitch that really started things for the Rays in last night's game. That was against Brett Cecil, and John Gibbons quickly out, and he has made the call to the bullpen. So Jay Happ goes 6 innings plus a batter. He walks the leadoff man here in the 6th. A good outing for Jay Happ. He'll turn things over to the bullpen. The veteran Gavin Floyd will come in relief of Jay Happ. Floyd will try to protect this 1-run lead. 3-2 Blue Jays.
Only at TSC. Save an extra 15% off officially licensed fan gear. Shop online at tsc.ca and use the promo code FAN15.
Jay Happ, his first start of the season. He leaves with the lead. The runner at first base, Kevin Kiermaier, is his responsibility. 7 hits. 3 of those hits off the bat of Steven Souza Jr. And now Gavin Floyd will make his first appearance in a Blue Jays uniform.
He'll make it out of the bullpen. Generally speaking, he was a starter in his career, now in his 10th big league season. Just 7 games last year for Cleveland. Just 21 games since 2013 because of assortment of injuries. He will pitch out of the bullpen here, looking to get to the back end of this ball game to try to get the ball to Roberto Osuna with the lead.
Well, Gavin Floyd pitched as a starter in spring training, so he can go extra innings if necessary. Pinch hitter is Corey Dickerson, and Dickerson has gotten off to a good start his first year with the Rays. First pitch strike.
Gavin threw the ball well in spring training. Fighting to get into that starting rotation. He did everything he could from a number standpoint to win it, but the Blue Jays wanted to put him into the bullpen, and what he does, because he's stretched out in spring training, he can give you those multiple innings. Good fastball, and he's always had that great breaking ball.
Dickerson has hit 2 home runs in this series. He hit a home run off Marcus Stroman on Sunday afternoon to lead off the 9th, and then he hit a home run off of Aaron Sanchez leading off the 4th on Monday. Check that. That was off of Dickey. One and 2 to the pinch hitter, Corey Dickerson. The home run was off of Sanchez, and it was Tuesday that he hit the home run. He's had 2 home runs, the only 2 hits he has in this series.
The bomb. That was a bomb against Sanchez. If you're worried about Gavin Floyd coming out of the bullpen, he's done it 19 times in his career. He hasn't been just a starter. This is new to, it's not new to him. There are the numbers right there, 19 games.
Well, Corey Dickerson has 3 at-bats against Gavin Floyd. Excuse me, he has 5 at-bats, 3 hits, including a home run.
Just talking about it. This was off of Aaron Sanchez. Aaron supplied a lot of power, and then Dickerson just caught it out in front. I don't believe I've ever seen a ball go over the stands in right field in this ballpark, just underneath the scoreboard in right center field.
That came in the bottom of the 4th after the Blue Jays had scored 2 runs in the top half of that inning. That made it a 2-1 game. Oh, good pitch. Gavin Floyd strikes out the pinch hitter Corey Dickerson. Floyd has thrown well all spring long. It was only the fact that Aaron Sanchez threw equally as well, and Sanchez got the nod for the rotation.
Pulls the string right here, and he puts it in a good spot, down and away. Stay away from that power zone of Dickerson. The Rays played their card right there in the 7th inning, one of their best power hitters off the bench. And now he pinch hit for the catcher, so he's probably going to be out of the ball game.
Line to Tulowitzki. That's all they'll get. Kiermaier stayed close to the bag. He dove back in safely at first as Forsythe hit it hard, but right to the shortstop Tulowitzki.
Line drive right at the shortstop. Looking at all the numbers, didn't even have to move. He had thoughts of maybe going across the diamond to finish off that double play, but then he realized who was running. Kiermaier, too fast.
The Rays used more pinch hitters than anybody in the American League last year. They're going to use another one this inning. Logan Morrison will hit for Brandon Guyer. Goes Kiermaier. Martin got a tough throw, and Tulowitzki comes off the bag to make sure the ball doesn't go into center. But that ball sailed on Martin, and he barely was able to catch it. Didn't have much of a chance to throw out Kiermaier.
They picked on a great pitch to run on. A little bit slower breaking ball. You can see Russell, he was trying to come out of the chute, but had to wait for that breaking ball. He had no chance to get Kiermaier.
First steal of the season for Kiermaier. He was caught trying to steal 3rd here. So Martin makes sure that Floyd is on the same page as far as the signs go. They got a runner in scoring position now. Kiermaier can fly. Morrison is 0 for 9 so far in this series. Evan Longoria, the 3-hitter, keep him right on deck.
Yeah.
Let him hit lead off next inning. 3-2 ball game. The Rays about hit the Blue Jays 7-5. Each team has stranded 5. Cued off the end of the bat. In case you're just joining us, Josh Donaldson is out of the game. He left the ball game after his last at bat, top half of this inning, and physically something's going on. We're not sure what it is. Darwin Barney started at second. He takes over defensively at 3rd, and Ryan Goins comes in to play 2nd. 1-2 to the pinch hitter Logan Morrison. Good block by Martin.
He's been busy this afternoon. That curveball, luckily for him, bounced way out in front of the plate where you can get a good read on it. He smothers it.
Breaking ball, he wouldn't chase. Martin scrambles to keep Kiermaier at second.
You have to have a lot of faith in your catcher to bury that breaking ball with 2 strikes, that he's going to block it, especially with that tying run out at second base. A very fast runner out at second base. And every one of the Jays pitchers have a lot of faith in Russell Martin behind the plate.
Gavin Floyd's now 33 years old. He's got plenty of experience. He was a starter throughout most of his career. Oh, what a job by Gavin Floyd. He comes into the ball game and retires the 3 batters he's given. He struck out Corey Dickerson, the pinch hitter, and strikes out the second pinch hitter, Logan Morrison. With the tying run at second base, Gavin Floyd strikes out Morrison to end the inning. We'll go to the 8th. The Blue Jays with a 3-2 lead. Drive of the Game is brought to you by the all-new Honda Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year.
Josh Donaldson in the 3rd inning with a couple of runners on board. This is the difference of the game right now. This high-arching fly ball to left field ends up being his 2nd home run of the series. 3 runs for the Blue Jays. And that's the only time so far that they have touched home plate thanks to Josh Donaldson in our drive of the game.
Josh Donaldson has since left the ball game. We're not sure the reason why, but he's out of the game. Obviously something physical. New pitcher for the Rays is Erasmo Ramirez. New catcher is Hank Conger. Corey Dickerson stays in the game in left field. Dickerson came into the game batting for the catcher Kurt Casale. He stays in the 9th spot.
What a revelation for Erasmo Ramirez last year for Tampa Bay. Remember, they got him right at the end of spring training from Seattle. He started a couple games and was awful. Made some adjustments, started pitching a little bit more aggressively, and was one of their best starters last year. He makes quick work of Jose Bautista here.
Sure does. Another strikeout for the Rays. 9 strikeouts on the afternoon. They have already compiled 2 double-digit strikeout games in this series. They're a strikeout away from making it 3. Edwin Encarnacion, 2 for 3 so far this afternoon. Another strike from Ramirez. The Rays, because of so many off days early in the season, will not need a 5th starter until May. They have the ability to jockey their rotation, and it'll depend on how they do as to when Ramirez might get a start. But they'll have an off day tomorrow, and then they'll go to Baltimore for a 3-game series, have another off day on Monday, an off day on the 18th, and an off day on the 28th.
That's odd for a team from Florida that plays a lot of home games.
It's
to have off days.
Particularly odd with a dome. You're not going to get any rainouts. There's no reason to schedule as many off days, but you're probably going to wish they had some of those off days later on in the season.
Really.
Foul ball.
Ramirez pitched well this spring, and they told him right at the end that he was going to go in the bullpen, and there was some talk that maybe he would close games for him for the first month of the season. They weren't really sure who they were going to settle on as their closer with Boxberger down.
Their closer, Brad Boxberger, underwent surgery. His surgery is not arm related. It's core muscle surgery to repair a muscle in his core area. But he's just now beginning to play catch. So he's 6-8 weeks away at the minimum. 3-2 to Encarnacion. He's had a 2-hit afternoon. Edwin's had 5 hits in the 4-game series. It's this one to center, but Kiermaier is there. 2 down in the 8th.
Number 2, shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, Troy Tulowitzki, the shortstop. Blue Jays have been out hit by Tampa Bay 5-7, but the Blue Jays lead it 3-2. Arnold Leon is throwing. He has not seen action yet. Blue Jays have an off day tomorrow. I think Franklin Morales, the lefty, is the one that's hot right now.
This game has a strange feel to it, much like yesterday's game, where the Blue Jays scored in just 1 inning and then tried to make it stand up late, gave up a couple of runs late in the game and then lost. Got the same kind of feel in this one.
Another strikeout. That's 10 strikeouts now, and the Blue Jays have tied their franchise record for most strikeouts in a 4-game series, 46. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update from the Samsung Broadcast Studio. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg
Go beyond the ballpark in 2016. Join the Jays Care Foundation Young Professionals roster. For more information, visit jayscare.com. Buck, a wonderful organization doing some great things for people.
Well, it sure is, Barry, and they're anxious to get everybody back on board to help out. Jays Care Foundation. You can check it out if you're a young professional. Join the club. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great cause. Gavin Floyd, he came in relief of Jay Happ after Happ walked the leadoff man to start the 7th, and Floyd retired the next 3 in order.
Took care of those pinch hitters, those big lefty pinch hitters, striking them both out.
He struck out Corey Dickerson, first man he faced. He was a pinch hitter, and then 2 batters later he got Logan Morrison, who struck out as the second pitch hitter of the inning. One ball and 2 strikes. It's a 1-run game, 3-2. How many times have we been in this situation in this ballpark against Tampa Bay?
Too
Tight
many
ball games.
Too many. I don't like to see them. Just a tough place to play.
And sure enough, Longoria gets a base hit. His second of the afternoon, a leadoff single here in the 8th.
Save during the homeowner sale only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Welcome back to St. Petersburg. It is beautiful outside and it's getting tense inside. Longoria with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th. Steve Pearce is up. Pearce 1 for 3 so far this afternoon. Goes after that inside pitch. Good late movement from Floyd. Pearce has not faced Gavin Floyd. Blue Jays turned a double play in the 5th.
And that was a big one to get them out of that inning. That's the thing with Gavin Floyd, with that starter's background. He could give you multiple innings. You don't have to go 1 batter at a time with him. Plus, he's got 4 pitches to get you out.
And he pitched a lot in spring training, so he had a good opportunity to work on all of his pitches. You see the double play combination behind Floyd now. It's Tulowitzki and Goins. Goins entered the game in the 7th. He went around, tried to check on that breaking ball.
It's always been a good one for Gavin Floyd. It's a sweeper. Get a lot of break as a hitter. You see it on the inside part of the plate. It's starting to break away, and it actually breaks off of the plate.
Big strikeout for Floyd. Now that's his 3rd strikeout since entering the ball game. Well, what an asset he could be out of that bullpen. Just in a game like this, let him finish.
That's what I mean. You don't have to go batter to batter or situation to situation because he's got those 4 pitches and he's stretched out. If he's throwing strikes and getting outs, no need to make any changes.
You can see John Gibbons and Pete Walker looking at the Rays lineup, making sure they have the right pitcher ready for a particular spot in the order.
I think what they're thinking about is there's 1 left-handed batter left on the bench for the Rays, and that's Brad Miller.
He would hit for Tim Beckham.
If it got down to that, if there's a couple of runners on or whatever, that's why Franklin Morales is up and ready to go.
You see Osuna lurking in the background. Desmond Jennings has gone over 3 as the DH this afternoon. Jennings has had a decent series. He is now 4 for 15 in the 4 games.
Never like to see this guy come up. I mean, he has worn out the Blue Jays in his very young career.
Jennings, for his career coming into this game, a .311 hitter against the Blue Jays with 10 home runs. Jennings just reached out and poked it into right as Longoria was on the move. First and third, 1 out.
How about that? The Rays, nothing to lose. They start the runner, Evan Longoria, to try to make things happen. And then Desmond Jennings just reaches out to perfection. They run the hit and run. That ball is in the other batter's box, and instead of a ground ball right at somebody, he lifts it into right field for a single. First and third now, and just 1 out, and that's going to make the Blue Jays go to the bullpen again.
Hunter Leon comes out of the bullpen, takes over for Gavin Floyd. A couple of hits in the inning. There's just 1 out. Runners at the corner. Leon into the ball game to face Steven Souza Jr. when we come back.
Souza Jr.
27-year-old Hunter Leon makes his first appearance as the Blue Jay. You see his numbers a year ago in 19 games with the Oakland Athletics. The Blue Jays purchased Leon from Oakland on January 5th this year.
Talked to Pete Walker about him, and I asked him about Arnold Leon. He says, I really like him. You know why? Because he can get the ground ball. And that's what they're looking for right here. With 1 down, he can sink his fastball. He can cut it. He keeps it down. Those were his numbers last year when he pitched for the Oakland A's.
Steven Souza Jr. has had a 3-hit day, including a home run. That'll get your attention.
He almost walked right into that fastball.
Souza's home run came in the 6th, and that extended the franchise record. You're right. He almost walked right into that.
He stepped out of the batter's box as the Rays, they were looking to review if he got hit on that pitch.
We mentioned the home run. That extended the franchise record for the Rays. They have homered in 18 straight games. Souza's home run came with 2 outs in the 6th.
The way he is swinging, I'm talking about Steven Souza, a single, a double, and a home run. You know he's got the green light right here. If you feel comfortable, let it go.
There's a strike. Longoria's at third, Jennings at first. Blue Jays looking for that ground ball. Deep fly ball to left. This one is hit a ton, and this one is way back. A 2-homer day for Steven Souza Jr.
Last night in the ball game, the Blue Jays scored in 1 run, and the Rays scored in the 8th inning to win by 1 run on a home run. Tonight, it's the 8th inning. The Blue Jays have scored in 1 run, and the Rays hit a home run in the 8th inning to take the lead. Souza looks comfortable.
A 4-hit game, his first multi-home run game of his young career. His second 4-hit game. He had 4 hits last September at Boston against the Red Sox. Tim Beckham still just 1 out. The 8th inning has been a problem for the Blue Jays in this ballpark.
You know, it's always the early innings where the Blue Jays have had some runners on base and they have not been able to get those add-on runs that make the 8th inning so important.
It's always been a difficult stop for the Blue Jays on the road here in St. Petersburg, playing in Tropicana Field. They find themselves down by 2. You see, since 2010 here at Tropicana Field, the Blue Jays 22-37. They've been out pitched, they've been out hit, and they've been outscored. So Arnold Leone gives up a 3-run home run. Franklin Morales, the lefty, will come in and try to end the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays are down by 2.
Mobile calendar and never miss a game. Go to sportsnet.ca/set reminder.
Tough inning for the Blue Jays. Arnold Leone gives up a 3-run home run. 2 of those runs are charged to Gavin Floyd. This is Franklin Morales.
Franklin pitched in last night's game, faced 1 batter, retired him. Pitched for Kansas City last year. Effectively out of the bullpen. Look what the lefties have done to him. 192.
Popped straight back just over our head. Kevin Kiermaier, he has gone 0 for 2, picked up a stolen base after he walked in the 7th. The Rays have doubled up the Blue Jays in hits 10-5. What a day for Steven Souza Jr. His second career 4-hit game, his first 2 home run game of his career, and a career high 4 RBIs.
tough pitches from Morales. You can see why he's so tough on lefties with that hard breaking ball. Kiermaier making it tough on him.
Looking ahead to the top of the ninth, Chris Colabello, Russell Martin, and Ezequiel Carrera are scheduled. Erasmo Ramirez is in the ballgame, and there's no activity in the bullpen. Kiermaier flies out to his counterpart, Kevin Pillar. That ends the inning, but the damage is done. Steven Souza Jr. with a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. And the Blue Jays have often gone to the 9th down by a run here in Tropicana Field. Colabello, Martin, and Carrera.
His team. Visit any Rogers retail location to sign the Blue Jays fan board and have your message included in the player tunnel at Rogers Center. Visit RogersCelebrates.com for details. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis. The Blue Jays have made it to the top of the 9th, and they trailed by 2. Erasmo Ramirez retired the side in order in the 8th, his first inning of work. It'll be Colabello, Martin, and Carrera for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have struck out 10 times again this afternoon. 3rd time in this 4-game series they've had double-digit strikeouts.
Club record for strikeouts in a 4-game series is 50 for Tampa Bay pitchers. They did that last season. They've had a great 4-game series when it comes to the strikeout.
Well, the Blue Jays have tied their franchise record for strikeouts, and it came against the Rays in 2011 at Rogers Center. 46 strikeouts in the 4 games. Blue Jays need a base runner. Colabello down 0-2. And Conger slid way off the plate outside that time, trying to stretch that down and away strike zone. Xavier Cedeno, lefty loosening up. Covers that outside corner. That's been giving him problems throughout the series.
They have stayed out there against him. Every now and then they'll bust him in or bust him up, but they have stayed away from him. He's off the plate, and he's diving to that outside corner now.
Ramirez really doing a great job of getting that pitch down and away. Look at the grouping of pitches away from Colabello.
Trying to get him to reach for that ball, take away his power.
Colabello trying to get things going here in the ninth. Breaking ball just off the plate. I'll tell you what, you could throw a quarter over all those pitches down and away.
And you'd cover them. Just keep looking out there. That's where he's going to stay.
Hit. Colabello's first hit of the season starts the ninth.
You know, when you look outside like that and then they cross up and they make a mistake, he wanted that ball down and away. He just missed his spot. But when you look out there and all of a sudden he comes in the middle of the plate, the ball looks huge. Watch it one more time. He wants it down and away. It leaks out over the plate, and there's CC's first hit.
That snaps an 0 for 10. Russell Martin's 0 for 11. 3 strikeouts this afternoon. Base hit will erase the memory of all of those. He had a good cut. Ground ball. Forsythe, the backup for 1. Double play.
That's the Tech Data double play of the game, and with that outstanding play, Tech Data donates another $250.
Pitcher's best friend. You give up a leadoff single on a 2-run ball game. Next thing you want is a ball right at one of the infielders. Ramirez gets it off the bat of Martin, and you won't have an easier double play than that one. 4-6-3.
Ezequiel Carrera got the start in left field. Hits this ball in the air. Souza says he's got it. Ball game. Well, the Rays come back on the strength of Steven Souza's career day. His first 2 homer game of his young career, his second 4-hit game, and his first 4 RBI game. The 2 teams split the 4-game series.
And just like last night's game, the Blue Jays are only able to score in 1 inning. That was a 3-run home run. It can't stand up for them. They lose another tough game to the Rays in this ballpark.
We'll be right back at it Friday night for the Honda home opener. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday. Here's Tim and Sid.